Plaintiff April Davenport says she dated the defendant in 1993 until one day when he just fell off the face of the earth. April claims they reconciled in 2016, and that's when he confessed that he disappeared due to his drug addiction. April's suing him today for an unpaid loan. Defendant Jonathan Hughes says when he was 16 years old, he became addicted to opiates, and his addiction was so severe that he would often steal prescription pads from doctors' offices. Jonathan insists the money from April was a gift, and therefore he doesn't owe.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I met the defendant, Jonathan, in 1993. We met, we dated for about a year, and then one day I called, he didn't answer, and he just like fell off the face of the earth.
Did you call again?
No, sir, our lives.
You only called one time?
No, I called several times.
You didn't want to get him back. Oh.
I lost him. I lost him, he was gone.
Okay, so you did call several times?
Yes, sir.
All right, and he never
but
responded.
our lives went separate ways.
Okay.
So back in 2016, I got my first smartphone, and I was looking through Facebook, and I seen his name. There's no picture, and I thought, could this be? And sure enough, I messaged him, and he hit me back, and we went out to dinner, and we reminisced, about what things had happened and where our lives had been, and
Her
where
first
we were
question
now.
was, where'd you go?
That's right. Did you ask that?
There was a lot of that. There sure
All
was.
right.
But come to find out, he had told me that he left me because he loved me. And he didn't want to hurt me. He was an opiate addict.
Okay.
For 26 years.
Got it. Makes sense. How old were you all then?
Oh.
Teenagers, adults?
I
What?
was an adult. I had just left I was
Over 21?
separated from
Obviously.
my first husband. I had my 3 children.
Oh, okay.
We lived there.
When you all started dating?
Yes, I was still married, but I was
Okay,
separated
got it.
and filed for my divorce.
All right. And how did it go from the time you all spoke on Facebook?
Everything was fine, sir. Your Honor, we dated up until November of last year.
And why did you all stop?
I don't know.
Back on drugs, you believe?
I don't know.
Don't know? All right.
I don't believe
Let me
so.
hear from you.
Your Honor, I met April in 93, 94 through a mutual friend, and we dated for about a year, and we would have problems off and on, but that was due to my addiction to opiates, which was developed at the age of 16 from an on-the-job injury. And I knew throughout that year that I would not be able to make her happy due to my addiction, and I chose to end it without hurting her or putting her through the misery that I was living in. And it continued on for 26 years. 3 runs through prison due to me going into oncology centers or doctor's offices, taking a prescription pad, writing my own prescriptions or calling them in, and I was caught. And my 3rd time in prison, I made a choice that I was tired of the life that I was living. So I made a choice to get clean. And I found the drug Suboxone. Actually, while I was in prison, I learned about that. It's a medication for opiate addicts. And
It deters them from use or takes away the desire?
It actually is an opioid blocker.
Right.
That blocks the receptors in your brain.
Okay.
Yeah, so you will not get high
Right.
when you're on that medication.
Oh, really? You can take all the opioids you want and you just
tried it.
won't feel it?
No, it's a waste of your money.
Okay, that's, I'm just getting an education and trying to make sense of it.
Okay.
So why aren't more people on it? What's the problem?
I believe the problem is that the cost is so high for recovery.
How'd you pay for yours?
I had assistance from
You were
family
stealing.
members.
You
that
stole some of that. At least you stole the right thing this time. If you're going to steal something that's going to stop your habit. Good man. You're smart. All right. Let me
change overnight.
Isn't that what you did, right?
No, I actually had assistance from my mom and dad. I give them the
How
credit for
much did
helping
it cost approximately?
me. When I first began, it was around about $16 to $17 per strip, and I was prescribed 3 a day.
So that's somewhere 48,
$60.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
You sure it's 60?
3 times 17.
That don't sound like. Get your calculator.
17
51?
That's the only thing that's ever made me mad at you.
I think it's 51.
I got 51. 17 times.
51. Thank you.
17 times.
All right,
Close
you
to
have messed
16.
up the whole case.
Sorry.
So as we were saying, before I was misinformed by a man with a calculator, no less. $51 a day.
Right.
How much did insurance cover, or Medicaid, or
At that
Medicare?
time, none. It
Okay,
would not
so
cover it.
as we hear, we have a solution that works. So you all call your state reps, call your state senators, call your congresspeople, and ask them about.
Suboxone, Subutex.
So that's a long story long, but it's so important that we discuss that. People think all I do is laugh in here, and they say, "Whoa, he's going to lecture." Uh-oh. You all need to know all of that. I promise you. Half of you
Right.
don't know. So how many knew what I just said? Thank you. Not one. All right. $2,000 for an unpaid loan. How does he owe you for that?
Well, we, like I said, we dated, but we broke up in November of 2017. But when I loaned him the money,
Tell me how the loan came about.
I come home from work one day and he needed to borrow some money. It was
Did he tell you what it was for?
for his truck.
Okay. And how much was it again?
$2,103.
All right. And when was he to repay?
As soon as possible. He promised he would pay it.
And he hasn't repaid since?
No, sir.
And that was, once again, the
That
date?
was in, I'm sorry, it was in May, I think.
16 or 17?
In May of 2017.
Sir, what do you say to this?
That's not true.
Don't start lying. You know, one of the main things. Did you go to NA?
I did briefly.
Because that's one of the principal signs of recovery is honesty and redemption. So go ahead. What do you say to this loan?
I'll be honest. I thought it was a gift. That's completely what I assumed everything
Did
was.
she ever ask you for her money back?
She did after.
What'd you tell her?
I told her that I thought that it was a gift.
Did he tell you this?
Yes, and I told him it wasn't. I told him when
But
I
he
loaned
told you it was, so he believed it was. That's my point. All right, whether you told him or right or wrong, he said he believed that it was a gift.
Yes.
Anyone have any evidence? Because it sounds like you said you all were living together. You said he came home.
I came home from work.
You all were living together?
Yes.
How long had you been living together?
Oh, probably about 5 months, I guess.
Oh, 5 months. Did you ever intend to break up?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever think you would break up in
No.
the future? You were convinced you would always be together?
Yes.
The rest of your life?
Yes, sir.
And under that scenario, you all gonna loan each other money?
Yes, sir, but that money was in my savings account for a reason. I was saving it for Christmas, the holidays, and things of that nature.
Okay. Anyone have any evidence as to whether it was a gift or a loan?
All I have is my text, Your Honor. But
What does the text say? Merry Christmas. I wish I would have found that cash under my tree.
Oh.
Will you have anything to give me this month? The holidays are here and I could really use that money. This was in this January. You know I have been there for you. You need to be here for me. Did he respond? I don't see any response. Sir, did you get these texts?
I believe I may have.
Why didn't you respond?
I really don't have an answer for that.
All right, so now I'm convinced that it was a loan because it's unreasonable that a person who doesn't owe something and they are contacted and spoken to in this manner, how many times had you contacted him prior to this?
several.
She's continuously contacting you and you don't respond and say it was a gift. Instead, you just ignore her. So I'm convinced you must have acknowledged it was a loan because who wants to keep getting bugged? You just say, hey, you keep bugging me about this gift. Instead, you just didn't respond at all. Judgment for the plaintiff, I believe you were right here. Have a good day.
I'm just glad the judge seen it. I mean, I needed the money. I told him that it was a loan, and
That's not true. I believe it was only in retaliation of me leaving her and her being angry. Is simply what it is.